not to think you are more important than we are. Okay, I understand some of these. You're not to think you are good at anything. Okay, that's what we got a problem.
What's good, y'all? It's the Demouchets REACT, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, C?
Today we're back with another American reaction. Super excited about this video. If you're new to us
and we new to you,
make sure you scroll down,
hit that subscribe button,
and turn on the post notification bell
because we're on the road to 200K.
And we cannot get there without you guys, alright?
Yes,
join the family. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
Let's get it.
Number 1. Tipping is not mandatory here in Sweden. Now, depending on where you're from in the world, your experience of tipping culture will be vastly different. So if you're from the USA, for example, and specifically a city like New York, it's almost enforced that you have to give a tip at the end of a meal. And the reason for that is because it's widely known that the servers aren't really earning enough money to live on. They're kind of earning not even the livable wage. And so it's expected that you will tip them usually about 20 or 25% of the total bill in order to make sure that they get that money they need and are able to get on with their lives. So you can understand that if you're that person that doesn't tip them, they will come and confront you. They want to know what they did wrong, why they're not getting that money. Whereas here in Europe, it's a little bit different. In the UK, for example, we will quite often give a tip, usually if the service is particularly good, but it's not mandatory by any means, and you will not be confronted if you don't give somebody a tip. And again, you'll usually do that based on a percentage of the total bill, usually between 5 and 15%.
Okay, so like we're literally tired of talking about tipping. I feel like we have been talking about tipping for the last year. So we're not going to comment on that. But I do want to make it clear that nobody's going to confront you.
Like, they're not going to chase you down for $1.
Confronted. Yeah, I have never, in all my years, I have never been confronted if I didn't leave a tip.
That is truthful.
I only know of one instance of a waiter running after somebody to give a tip. One. And it wasn't me. So
I only seen that happen once on a video. I don't even see that in the movies. Like,
I don't know. So like that's why we have to be careful when we're speaking about things. You don't want to generalize things because people who really don't know a specific culture will think that that is true.
Yeah, they're gonna hard down on it, 100%.
So,
what about if we just say keep the change though? Like, you guys want to keep the change? Like, what if we just hand you a bill and we be like, all right, just keep the change. Yeah. Like, don't look at it as a tip. Just be like, I don't want to have all that change in my pocket.
Right.
So just take just take the bill.
All right. We just started talking about the tipping culture. That's it.
What they don't tell you is that when you move here to Sweden, if you start going around giving all of your servers 25% by way of tip, I'm sure they'll be delighted, but it's absolutely not expected. Yes, that's right, we've talked on this channel before about the taxation system here in Sweden, and specifically the state services if you're an employee, and it has to be said that the minimum wage here in Sweden is fairly high, and it's quite normal that if you work in one of those hospitality jobs, that your wage will actually include the kind of value that you would expect to get from tips in a different country. But that doesn't mean that I'm saying that you shouldn't do it by any stretch of the imagination. No, it's still reserved for that really special and exceptional experience. So if you go out to your local Italian restaurant and you think, you know what, tonight they really outdone themselves, that was fantastic, why not give them a tip? It's a really nice way to show your appreciation and respect for the experience that you've had. But that said, if you don't, they're not going to be upset. And I'd say it's a lot more common that lots of people here in Sweden are just rounding up that bill. So if the bill comes to 480 crowns, for example, or maybe they'll top it up to 500 just to make it nice and round. Another cultural habit that you definitely won't be told about when you move to Sweden and that you'll have to work out for yourself takes us to the supermarket. Yes, let me ask you this. If you've been to your local ICA or Hemköp recently, have you noticed that the Swede in front of you in the queue when you line up to pay is very neatly and intricately laying out all of the items on the conveyor belt one after one, rotating the pepper, turning around that bag of flour. Have you seen that? And have you wondered what's going on? Well, allow me to make you part of the in club by filling you in on this important detail. In fact, this is just the Swedes doing a real common courtesy and human decency to that server or cashier that is working 100%. At the supermarket. What they're trying to do is make sure that the process to get the groceries is as easy and smooth both for them and the cashier as possible. So they're turning the item around to make sure that the barcoded side is facing the scanner and also facing them, which therefore means that when the cashier picks it up, they can just scan it and move it along the conveyor belt. It helps
just swiping all day, back and forth, like make it real easy.
Baby, Swedes went a step further, because I was like, okay, we put it in categories too, but no, they said when you pick it up, you just scan.
Okay, now we got some hospitality going on.
Okay, y'all just upped us a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like it.
Running smoothly. And if you don't believe me that this is actually a thing here in Sweden, keep a lookout next time you're in your local Willys or your local ICA, and you will see exactly what I'm talking about. Not to mention, can you name the last time that you saw a stack of items lined up on top of each other at a conveyor belt in a Swedish supermarket? Because I highly doubt it. So I guess you could say that even the groceries here in Sweden like to keep a 2-meter distance. The third secret of Swedish culture is something that I've touched on a number of times in my videos, but I've never really deep dived into, and it's probably one of the most requested topics that I get all the time from you guys. And it's the unspoken jantelagen, or law of jante, if you translate it into English. What this means is that people are discouraged from going around and bragging or showing off unnecessarily. It's the kind of attitude that says that you should not be standing out or showing off or thinking you're more superior than anybody else. They want everyone to blend in and everyone to be equal.
I hear this a lot more now.
Yeah, so is this just Europe culture? That's what it's starting to seem
I don't
like.
think I caught anybody in the comment section like really expressing the idea behind this and how you guys go about it when it comes to not bragging, things like that. Because we did mention one time that you guys have sports, right? And that's one team that's gonna want to be more competitive than the other one. They're gonna go back and forth, and then they got your audience who's gonna do the same. It's like, is that a level of bragging or boasting at all?
Okay, so that's why I'm starting to think that there's a language barrier there. Or cultural barrier of what we perceive bragging to be and what they perceive bragging to be.
Okay, yeah, gotcha.
Because when we were speaking about standing out and being appreciative and happy for your achievements and, the things that you have done, they say that we misinterpreted it. And they were just saying be humble, but I feel like you can still appreciate your achievements and the things that you have done with your life and still be humble. Like, we talk to y'all a lot of the times about our humble beginnings in life and how we have become the successful people that we are today, but we are still humble. Y'all don't see us come on here flashy. Y'all don't come on here seeing us talk about whatever we have. We don't do that. So I think we just have a different idea of what bragging is and what being humble is.
And he did show some people at work, like with the tuxedos and everybody at work gathered together. Like, maybe it could be for that environment, or do you guys just celebrate in silence?
Or just not mention it.
Or just not, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all love y'all silent achievements and y'all just keep pushing that way. Yeah.
Because that's a first generational grad, baby. Look. Yes, Sierra got this many degrees. So, but I'm not just, I got this many. I'm not doing that.
That's
just
a little
being
too much.
Happy about it.
I'm not. Yeah, we don't rub it in nobody's face.
Right.
That's the difference. That's one thing. If we talking like that, we're on the same page. Like, rub it in nobody's face. That's a little too cocky and all that unnecessary stuff. It's like, bro, we get it.
Yes.
We get it.
Yes, and so hold on, wait, babe. So if you are new to the channel, when we say we're not always speaking about American culture as a whole. We can only speak on the Demouchets.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah.
You've probably even noticed it in the Swedish workplace. It's not common that someone will go around bragging about their achievements. In fact, they'll probably just keep them to themselves and be happy and pleased on the inside. And to be honest, the jury is out on this one, because depending on who you ask here in Sweden, there are varied opinions on whether jantelagen is something that we should aspire towards or something we should ditch. And I know what you're thinking. On paper, this sounds idyllic. It's a way to make sure that nobody feels like they're more superior than anyone else, no one tries to steal the spotlight from each other, everyone gets that equality and respect that they deserve. Great, right? And it is. I think the kind of ambition behind it is really good, but the problem is there's this dark underbelly that's developed alongside jantelagen, which actually has some more kind of sinister motives behind it. Yes, that's right, because there's a little bit more of a sinister undertone when you read some.
Okay, so before he go into that, I would love to hear your thoughts. How do you all feel about our American influencers and content creators? because I know that there's some content creators who always talk about they got this deal, they got this deal, they got this deal, they got
Yeah,
they make
everything
this
is-
much, they make this much.
Yeah.
I live in this big mansion and blah blah blah. So how do y'all feel about? I mean, I think we would feel the same way about it.
Hey, I mean, gotta hear from them though. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Love to know what you guys' intake on that is as
Yeah,
well.
but also a lot of them do that to inspire the next person.
A lot of it is inspirational.
We
Anyway.
don't,
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, we focus on our family.
I don't know. I think with being in Sweden, I would have to be in an environment to know and understand how you guys operate when it comes to remaining humble during achievements. It's nice to hear it, but I gotta literally like see it. So if there's a video out there or
Right.
something to amplify what he's saying right now, we would love that because I think that would help a lot of people get an understanding of it.
Yeah, because apparently we're misinterpreting it.
Yeah.
And I mean, we just want to understand. So help us understand.
Yeah, big facts.
Some of the lines of this Jantelagen tradition, where it states things such as, you should not think that you are good enough, you should not think that you can teach others
I am
things,
good enough.
and most importantly, you shouldn't be fooled into
What was
thinking
that?
that others care about you.
Okay,
Now,
let's go through this.
Go ahead and screenshot that if y'all need it.
You're
so you
not
can the law of the
You're not to think you're
Yeah.
anything special, okay? So we start off teaching our children at a young age that you are important, that you are special, and you could do whatever you want to do with your life. You're not to think you are as good as we are. What?
He just said that we all feel accomplished and no one over feels like they're overachieving someone, like their success is over someone else's. So I don't know, number 2 is a little controversial to what he just said.
Okay, you are not to think you are smarter than we are. Well, we don't think we're smarter than nobody. All right.
Okay.
You're not to imagine yourself better than we are.
Get out my head! Okay, so now it's
Okay.
like the person can't think they can. They have to like I don't know, it's like if I know that I want to go join a team like in sports, then I have to know that I'm as good as them.
Yeah, but you come with your own unique abilities
I mean, yeah, of course.
and talent. Okay. You're
Okay.
not to imagine. Oh, did I read that one? I don't know. You're not to think you know more than we do. Okay, but let's say if somebody has more experience or more education in something, like let's say the qualifications to be a supervisor or to be lead of a department. Okay.
Help me learn more than what I don't know today.
Right. You're not to think you are more important than we are. Okay, I understand some of these. You're not to think you are good at anything. Okay, that's what we got a problem. I'm
You're
good
not
at a
to
lot of
laugh
things.
at us. You're not to think anyone cares. Oh my God, about you.
What?
You're not to.
Think you can teach us anything. So each one teach one don't apply to y'all.
You're not to think anyone cares about you. That's a little.
That's a little
harsh,
harsh.
bro.
Let's think.
That's a little different.
Let's think.
Ooh. All right, y'all. Okay.
if you talk to lots of Swedes, they'll tell you that Jantelagen is a little bit outdated now.
Oh,
Although
okay.
the premises are good, there's parts of it that need to be reworked for the future.
Yes.
But there's also people
was
that are
close
on the
one.
other side of the fence and say, you know what, this doesn't work in society today. We should be allowed to be proud of our achievements as
Yeah.
long as we do that in a respectful way
Yes,
and don't make
respectful.
people feel bad as a consequence.
Exactly.
So as I say,
We're
the
on the
jury is
same
really
page.
out. If you're Swedish yourself, let us know down in the comments below what's your take on Jantelagen and its applicability in society today. The fourth thing that you
I
will
don't know,
only
bro, because then again, that goes to like promotions. What if there's a brand that wants you to promote something and you have to advertise it in a way that shows that they are the best?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You want people to purchase and get involved into their community of their type of brand. Like, what do you do for that type of incident? Like, all right, you got to keep it calm and be like, just click the link up here and you can see what we're doing. I don't know. Like, that's different. That's different.
It is different, but there was some of the things I understood, but some of the things like you can't teach us anything.
It's outdated. It's outdated.
Yeah, some of those things.
It's
Okay.
outdated.
All right. Let us know the origin.
Yeah.
ever find out by doing here in Sweden takes us into the territory of vacation days. So I hope you're listening up. And I have to say that when I first learned this one, I was shocked. But at the same time, I think it's very, very fair of the Swedish state. Let me paint the scene for you guys. When I first started working my very first job here in
He's real
Sweden,
big.
I was responsible for working alongside a team of developers to drive them towards a goal. And
Okay.
in that job, I also had responsibility for making sure that I knew which resources I had available and which ones weren't around in town. And for that reason, when one of my developers said, you know what, I need to take some holiday in a month, is that okay? It was me that helped to make sure that got approved or not. And this happened on one particular occasion. I approved someone's leave, and then during that leave period, he wrote in to say, my child is sick today, so I'm not going to be taking a vacation day today anymore. And I was confused, because where I'm from at least, you've already booked a vacation day, so I already know you're going to be off. So just because you're sick, or your kid's sick, or some sort of circumstance has changed, what does that mean? You know, you were already off, so why are you telling me? And that's the day that I learned that here in Sweden, you can actually change out some of those different days depending on the reason that you're off. So if you'd planned to be off to go on holiday somewhere and then you got sick for a week, you're not expected to still take those holiday days. In fact, you can
It don't count.
Okay.
That don't count. I got sick on my vacation day.
Roll my
Just
vacation
take that back and just know that I'm sick on this day. So that don't count. Just don't count me for the week that I'm supposed to be on vacation. I'm gonna vacate the next week.
Right.
I'm sick this one.
take my day.
During my vacation, I'm supposed to be vacating. Oh, yo, God.
I mean, it's good. I can see a lot of people that would abuse that system here.
Bro, they would have loved it. They would have loved it. What? I gotta vacate and I get to be sick on the day I'm supposed to be vacating, then push my vacate back and then unsick and be happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're gonna need that one.
Take them in for sick days which you register with the state instead and get compensated differently for. But before you get any ideas about just taking weeks and weeks of vacation and then converting them into sick days afterwards, you should know that that very first day that you are sick or that you register as having a bug or the flu or something, you're not paid at all. No, in fact, there is a special compensation here in Sweden that says from the second day and onwards, you'll get 80% of your salary, but that first day, you will not be compensated at all. And whilst this is a bit of a side point, I must admit, I still don't really understand why you're not compensated for that first day, because let's be honest, if I'm off with a fever and I'm already feeling crap as it is, and then I'm not earning anything for that day, it's like, what's the incentive to actually tell the truth and say that I can't work that day if I'm still going to lose out anyway? Which leads me nicely on to the fifth and final thing that you will not be told until you get here to Sweden. The fifth thing that you have to experience for yourself. And again, this is another way that the state comes in and affects the way that law and order is restored here in Sweden. Yes, because did you know that if you want to have a child here in Sweden, you actually have to register that child's name onto a government portal and they will let you know whether you're allowed to call your child that or not. And I don't mean that this is some sick or twisted way to make sure there's not too many Victors or too many Marias out in the society.
So you have
Call your
to.
child what?
No, you have to register the child's name, and they will let you know if you're able to name your child that. Maybe to control the names he was just singing. Maybe to control the amount of names.
And again, this is another way that the state comes in and affects the way that law and order is restored here in Sweden. Yes, because did you know that if you want to have a child here in Sweden, you actually have to register that child's name onto a government portal and they will let you know whether you're allowed to call your child that or not. And I don't mean that this is some sick or twisted way to make sure there's not too many Victors or too many Marias out in the society. Oh no, it's just to make sure that you are not calling your child something stupid. So here's a selection of some of the names that people have tried to call their kids which have been rejected. The so-called banned list of names here in Sweden. IKEA, Superman, Q, Elvis, Michael Jackson, and not to mention this one, which I have no idea how I'm supposed to pronounce, and I don't think I want to. And jokes aside,
no, like seriously, because people was naming their children Corona.
It sure was, huh?
No, I've come across a lot of hard names, but you know what? I gotta say, I like ethnic names. I do.
So I thought like he was mentioning that they don't want to have too many people with the same name.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It's like what is on a list for February? Because you know what I'm saying? Only thing you got for February is this, like, you know what I'm saying? So
no, just to make sure that the child is named something that's
facts.
They deem appropriate.
Appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they want business owners who's not called Superman.
Right.
I got it.
A potato chip.
Potato chip in the building. Come on through, potato chip, and give us your speech.
Have to admit, I think this is a really, really logical and really sensible thing to do because these kids then have to walk around parading through town with these names for the rest of their lives and we don't want them to be laughed at and made fun of just because their parents had a weird and twisted sense of humour. So props to Sweden for doing this. I think this is something lots more countries should be and perhaps even are now beginning to adopt.
Y'all like that? And I'm not speaking to our Swedes. I'm speaking to everybody. How y'all feel about that? Because I feel like if I want to name my child, what if my grandfather's name was Michael Jackson?
Oh, Lord.
I want to name him Michael Jackson. Okay?
Michael Jackson, see?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
It's part of the family tree.
Right.
Want to keep the name alive.
But I do understand some people just name their children some names.
Drop some names in the comments that y'all know was not going to fly. Like, I got to laugh. We need that laugh, right? So, let's hear it.
But it's just something that you're not told until you're having a child here in Sweden. And with that said, we reached the end of another one of my videos. Thank you
guys. Beautiful said. I mean, that's what's up. I mean, the only thing that we knew about, like faithfully knew about, is the tipping. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Your guys don't really care too much for tipping. Other than that, yeah. Yeah.
Well, that was a cool video. You know, we finally got into some culture shocks in Sweden. Look at us.
Yeah, we're digging.
Look at us.
We're getting somewhere.
Yeah, so we hope you guys enjoyed this video with us. Like this video, subscribe, turn on the post notification bell.
There you go.
And we'll see you soon. Peace.